See Your Shadow and Christmas in Cell Block 9.
Identity, walking home one Christmas Eve. It was not a silent night with sirens and red flashing lights. Said I look like they're suspect, hands behind my back under arrest. Tried to explain but didn't get far. My mugshot on a Christmas card. Jack Frost was nipping, but not on my nose. Telling Bubba no means no. Underneath the mistletoe, that holiday was spent doing time. Christmas on Cell Block 9. Oh, Cell Block 9.
Christmas on Cell Block 9. That's the See Your Shadow Songwriting group, headed up by one Mr. Michael Coleman. And we thank you very much, Michael, for joining us here on the David Bowers Awards this week. We have an old friend standing by, so instead of John and I going into our usual, our usual chit-chat between guests, we're going to go right on because this old friend has an awful lot to share with us. It's been a while since we've talked with her, and a lot has been going on in her career, including, finally, some new music. And when I spoke with her, a few weeks back, and we talked about doing the show, I got an email from her saying, we're sending darkness to you tonight or something like that. And I immediately wrote her back and said, are you threatening me? But she assured me this is one of her two new releases, and we're going to be playing a world premiere shortly. But first, we're going to listen to Darkness by our next guest, Mikayla. Let's rock.
Let go.
Oh, indeed. I told you we're going to rock on a little bit here. That's Mikayla. Welcome back, Mikayla. I haven't seen you, I haven't gotten to talk to you in a long time.
Oh, my gosh. I am so glad to be back on the show and talking to you guys. Thank you so much for always opening your doors to me. I can't thank you enough.
You're part of the family, you know that, and you're welcome anytime. Now, let's catch up on what's been going on in your life besides COVID. And I know, like myself, you had a mild brush with that too. But let's talk about the fact. Let's see if I've got my notes straight. You have, since we last spoke, you have gotten married, and you've had a baby.
I did.
Well,
I was talking to John a minute ago, and just living that American dream, right? So
absolutely. So tell us about your new husband and your new son.
Yeah. So as you guys remember, when I left South Carolina, I was in a bad situation there. When I moved back home to Indiana, I had no intentions of, dating. I did not want to meet anybody. It's like, leave me alone. Let me focus on my music, and that's all me. It's all about me. And within 2 weeks of being back in Indiana, I was at the gym, and in walks this guy, and he just flashes me the biggest smile, and I was like, oh, boy, I'm done.
Bingo.
Bingo. And, we were flirting a little bit, and, I knew right then. And so we were inseparable after that, and, we got married, a few months after. But he's amazing. He just actually got out of the Marine Corps last year, and, we had our first baby together. Of course, I have a 10-year-old as well.
Right.
But it's been amazing. He's the love of my life and the greatest thing since sliced bread, in my opinion.
Isn't that funny how those things go? Just when you get to the point when you say no more, all of a sudden the door opens and there's more.
There's always another plan. When you think that you have it together and you know what you're doing, there's always another plan. So I've learned to just go with the flow of things now. Whenever a door opens, just walk through it. You have done very well.
You have done very well with that. We congratulate you both on your marriage and on your new baby. I know I've been following you online, so I've been a part vicariously of watching all of this happen, and I'm just so happy for you. It's great to see you so radiant and bubbly and just so excited about life, because I did get the impression back there. I know we didn't go into any detail, but I did get the impression that it was a darker portion of life than you would have liked, and I'm glad to see the turnaround and how you have come out and just forgotten all about that stuff, and we will too, so we won't talk about that anymore. Talk about your new music. The song you threatened me with there, Darkness, that we just played.
Yep.
Now this is part of a new album you've got coming.
Yeah, so I'm just releasing singles right now with COVID and not knowing what's going to happen with shows. My main focus right now is just to record as many songs and just use that creativity. And, as I did before when I was with B2B Records, we released a new song every 30 to 45 days. So I want to get back to that because I love songwriting, and I have my own studio now. In fact, Alice, which you're going to premiere on your show today, that one was completely produced by me. So,
awesome.
Getting into that and that creative space is really important to me. And then making music makes other people happy as well. So it's a win-win.
And you've made a lot of people happy. You've made a lot of great music, and we're definitely looking forward to more of the same. And your scheduling a new release every 30 to 45 days has worked very well for you, so I'm glad to see you going back to it. John Bon Jovial, I know you got to talk with her offline while we were listening to that last tune, but hey, talk in public, share with us. Go ahead.
Well, we talked about the whole parent thing and what a pain in the rear end kids can be, but you wouldn't trade it for the world. Mikayla, I am so glad to have you back on the show with us. It is It's been entirely too long, darling. Welcome back. Welcome home. And I'm so glad that you've landed with both feet firmly planted on the ground, and you've got a knock on wood, it should continue, a wonderful marriage and beautiful children, and life can be good, can it? It really can. Life can be good.
Life is what you make it.
Yes, it is. And speaking of good, boy, I tell you what, it's the first time I've heard Darkness, and I'm looking forward to Alice. And I'm glad that you have not lost your rock and roll womanly ways.
Oh, not at all. It is full force from here. So, as you know, when you take a little bit of time off, it is hard to get back in that groove. And, I started going through some depression, of course, with COVID and everything. Everything has changed a lot. Politics, everybody's fighting with each other. And depression, it's not always a bad thing to have, negative thoughts, negative energy, because that is actually what sparks change, because then you start thinking, how do I get out of this? What makes me happy? And for me, it's always been music. So I am so excited to get back into the groove of everything, and it's full force from here.
Yeah, you sure have.
Thank you.
and it's just it's great. As I said, it's great to hear you rocking again. And now, are you still living in Indiana, or have you moved elsewhere?
I'm still in Indiana. I miss South Carolina, obviously, a lot because of the beach, the big change in weather. But the changing of the seasons here is amazing. My husband's family is here, so we want to stick close to family because that's what is most important to us. And then later on in life, if we feel like it, we're talking about Florida. So
that's as you know, that's where I am, and of course, David being out in Arizona.